Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jennifer McDevitt with New Jersey City University's Institute for Dispute Resolution. In today's episode of the IDR's Connecting Bridges and Borders series, I'll be speaking with Professor Quinones about the impact of COVID-19 on higher education. Currently, he is a professor at Interamerican School of Law in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Professor Weiss, who you may have seen in other episodes, and I have had the pleasure of collaborating with Professor Quinones on our project about mediation in Puerto Rico, and I'm very excited to speak with him today. So, Professor, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, good morning. I am a full-time professor at Interamerican University of Puerto Rico School of Law. We are the biggest private institution in higher education in Puerto Rico as of now. The law school has a program and that has been in effect since 1964. It was the first night school open for law students in Puerto Rico. And right now, we are teaching both courses in Spanish. You have a Juris Doctor in Spanish. We have a Juris Doctor in English. We have an LLM program, and we have a doctoral program in law. We are the only doctoral program in law in Puerto Rico. Okay, I was recruited back in 1988 as an adjunct professor, and I have been associated with the university since then until the present. I have been associate professor, and I have been now full professor. And I teach courses that has to do with both litigation skills, but on the other hand, how to avoid litigation, which is alternative dispute resolution. I have been doing this since the early 90s. We were the first school who taught alternative dispute resolution courses in Puerto Rico at a higher education level. The first law school, but also the first university teaching courses in this area. So I have been involved with alternative dispute resolutions since the early beginning in Puerto Rico. So I teach a course in mediation, and I teach a course in a workshop on mediation skills, and I also teach courses for the LLM curriculum on theories of conflicts for students at that level. So as you see, I also teach ethics, professional responsibility courses. So that's basically what I have been doing. I was the first, back in the 90s, we had the first clinical course in mediation for divorce cases in Puerto Rico, and I was in charge of that. And since then, we have at the university a corporation which is called Instituto para la Solución de Conflictos, Institute of Conflict Resolution, which is involved basically in promoting the use of alternative dispute resolutions in Puerto Rico. And through that organization is in which we are been cooperating with the New Jersey University on research regarding use of mediation in commercial and business topics in Puerto Rico.
Yes, that is a wonderful project that we're working on. It's on pause for now, but we will pick that up in the future. So could you tell us a little bit about, you're teaching all these amazing courses in alternative dispute resolution and litigation. Have you taught online prior to this last few weeks? Had you ever done any online courses?
I have been involved in the administrative part of the faculty. So between 1998 and 2005, I was Dean of Academic Studies. So since that time, we started to incorporate different use of online platforms for courses. It was first on an experimental basis, but in a sense, I was involved in this really early. Not necessarily all my other colleagues at the schools were doing the same. But for law courses, there are two platforms provided by commercial enterprises that makes access to cases and jurisprudence and materials on law, particularly in English, very easily. So I have been using as part of my courses, all of my courses, I use technology, but as a supplemental until 3 weeks ago. Okay, last year I took a course to prepare online courses completely, and I was making the course on theory of conflicts, which is for the LLM program. I am moving it from how do you say it? Live classes to completely virtual. So that's what is going to happen in next fall. But in the meanwhile, this happened, and the school closed 3 weeks ago. We were on a spring break, and then we have a week for midterms, and then suddenly in Puerto Rico, the coronavirus was a big issue, and the governor, she decided to make a partial close down. So the schools are not open. So we have been out for the school in 3 weeks, and we were notified by the administration that we have to make migration. So we have been migrating these 3 weeks. We started just last Monday. We have only been 1 week. I believe it was easier for me because I had used platforms before, and I have used the different tools that the platform that I am using provides me. But other professors were like a cold shower. So they were making a forced migration in 1 week. So they are learning in the process. They are learning in the process. Okay. But it's a different kind of game. My concerns are basically with the litigation course, because the litigation course is a skill course, a lot of simulations, and for those simulations are like trials at court, so you need to involve a lot of people. Now we cannot involve a lot of people in the classrooms, and we are going to try them to use this platform Zoom to see if we will be able to do those exercises. That's my next challenge for next week when we start doing exercises. Right now we are using like audio tapes or materials that has been scanned into a section of the materials, and they can read that and use forums for discussions regarding, doubts or areas that needs to be clarified. But once we start doing the exercises, that's going to be a new approach.
So I had the pleasure of sitting in on one of your in-person mediation classes a couple weeks ago, back in February, and I saw that you used a video, which I guess could be put online, but you had a very dynamic discussion with your students. And I'm wondering, are you using any kind of discussion? I myself took a mediation class online many years ago.
Yes.
I'm interested to learn how you're approaching that kind of dialogue and conversation.
That's something we will have for the litigation course. It's a simulation, and then I will be making comments. For the mediation course, that is something right now, I am trying to do it through forums. They have a forum this week on litigation tools, on mediation tools. So we are going to deal with that. And then maybe what we are going to do is, we used to meet twice a week from 6 to 8 p.m. So for that course, maybe I will have on Tuesday or Thursday, I will have like an open discussion for them to bring me their concerns and see if we can try to resolve them there.
Okay.
There have other audio tapes that has been provided, and they should listen to them and then tell me if they have any doubts so that I can provide feedback. But this will be in a forum for all the students, even if someone has that type of concern, but that all of the students can read that and if they open that forum.
Okay, so that's actually a perfect segue, because I was next going to ask you, how are the students responding? How are they taking this? Are they adapting? How is the internet connectivity and everything going there?
Okay, students has made the transition easier than the professors, because they usually use this for their social life. So they are just adding one other aspect to what they were usually doing in other areas. Okay, so far I have no complaints. Okay, I do not know if in other courses they have been making complaints, but so far the professor I have spoken with have not told me that anything particular is happening. The students dominates the technical part of it easier than we do.
Have you found that your students are communicating with you more or less frequently than they had before?
So far, the students that have been communicating with me online are usually the same students that communicate with me when I am physically present. So I have not seen an increase in the use. But however, all my written examinations are online. So usually, regarding that, I before this special event, I had a lot of communication from the students regarding the examinations, quizzes or tests. So in that sense, it's the same, but before it was related also to online issues. So, I will say it's basically static, okay? For my courses. I suppose for other professors, it has increased.
I've personally seen an increase, and I was already teaching online. So now everyone has everything online. What platform do you use at Interamerican? What online platform?
There is, Interamerican, the system has something called Blackboard that I believe is used in a lot of universities. However, at law school, although we have Blackboard, we prefer to use what is the West company of the publishing company has something which is called Westlaw. It's a system to do research for law in internet, and they have developed a program which is called 20WEN, which is for law schools. And that's the one we prefer to use. Okay, me and my other colleagues, we prefer to use that. Why? Because that system is really student friendly, very easily to figure out how to work it. And you can indicate and make certain connections regarding cases or text materials that are already in the Westlaw Publishing Company, and the student can have access to all those materials immediately through the platform. They don't have to get out and look up in other platforms. So it's easier that way. But it certainly is a choice. There is another enterprise which is called LexisNexis. We do the same. I have tried the three systems, LexisNexis, Blackboard, and Westlaw, and I prefer to use Westlaw. So they have alternatives.
Okay, I never knew that Westlaw had that. I know of the database and the research in LexisNexis. I didn't realize that they had their own platform. So that's interesting to know. I definitely want to look into that at some point.
Yes, they do.
And being able to have immediate access to the files that's a big advantage for the students.
Right.
Okay, so what is the overall situation like in San Juan, in Puerto Rico? What kind of quarantine or lockdown or any kind of restrictions are going
Okay, the governor decided, and I think that was a good idea, to start a partial lockdown back in 2 weeks ago. Okay, so only people with issues that have to do with hospitals, food providers, medicine, and health issues are allowed to work. The rest of the population has to be at home. Initially, it was from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. each day. Then last week, it was reduced from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. People can be out. And then since last week, cars, even under the same conditions, cars with plate numbers that ended in a par number could go out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and those who has the last is an odd number, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturday. Sunday, no vehicle, motor vehicle is supposed to be out in the street. Last night at 7:30, she made a press conference announcing, okay, we are basically a very, from a cultural point of view, we are very Christian society because our ancestors were Spanish with a very strong Catholic upbringing and religion. But Christians' religions are very important here. And this is what is called Holy Week. It started yesterday.
Semana
and usually
Santa.
it's for religious, Semana Santa for religious purposes. But she announced that this year, Friday, this coming Friday, Saturday and Sundays, nobody can go out. She has been very strict. If they get you out of your house after the curfew hours, you will get either arrested or they will put a fine on you, depending on the situation. And that is the hours that the curfew is on. During the day, when you have to, if the police stops you, you have to demonstrate you are involved in one of those things. Either you are going to the supermarket, or you are going to a dental or medical appointment, or you are going to a hospital because of an emergency, or you are going to a supermarket or a pharmacy to buy medicine. If you cannot show that, and you cannot show that you are employed in one of those industries or areas, you will get fined even during the day. So you cannot go out to take a stroll or run in the park, nothing like that. So in that sense, the coronavirus is very reduced here. We have like no more than 1,000 persons as of yesterday night, and only 12 persons has died so far. So it's very controlled, and I believe she's going to prorogate the ending of the curfew. I think we will be until May in the same condition because it's working. It's working.
That's very good to hear. It's a very challenging time right now, especially being outside of New York City, in New Jersey, where we're in essentially the epicenter at this point. So as somebody from a background in conflict resolution, how do you see the virus impacting conflicts now and in the future?
Okay. Usually when you are in a situation where the regular ways to resolve conflicts are usually using official channels, now suddenly you have to use informal channels. Why? Because the police is urgently in other areas to take care of more drastic conflicts. So people, if you have different problems, you either have to resort to your negotiation skills, or you will have to find somebody who will intercede, in your behalf. And other person, all the courtrooms in Puerto Rico are closed. The judicial branch is closed completely. So people have to resort, and usually, since we have, the last 3 years has been very bad for Puerto Rico, because we have been impacted by many either physical phenomena, and those physical phenomena like hurricanes, earthquakes, economic depressions, affect also the psychological well-being of people. So we have been dealing in a constant area of very complicated social environment for the last 3 years. And I suppose people are finding that they have to resolve things and not depend on other persons or institutions to try to resolve those things for you. So it's a lesson that is bitter, but people are learning it, slowly, but we are getting there. We are getting there. So that's what we are happening.
Have you seen a shift of mediation and litigation and different kind of consultations to the online platforms, or how is that looking there?
What I have seen so far, and in fact, I have one of those things this afternoon, is arbitration. People, there is a continuum, People usually have to make decisions, but here we tend to have a predilection about people with knowledge to make or help you make the decision. So between mediation and arbitration at this moment, I believe, is more being used. Because usually either the people have attorneys, and attorneys like to deal with attorneys, and they would like to see it in a forum very similar to a courthouse. So what they are doing is they are reaching consensus about trying to resolve issues with an arbitrator. So that I have seen that more than mediation. So it will be a boost for arbitration. It still is a semi-formal process. A third party is going to adjudicate and decide, and you have to do what that person does, based on not on the position of the law, but on a contract. You are getting to an agreement that you are going to do what that person is telling you to do. So that's what we are having. Because even if we are not going to court, we can have meetings and have arbitrations online.
Okay.
The mediation can also be done online, but I believe it will take a little bit more of getting people to know how to do it. The majority of the mediations here are doing through the court system, which is the court system in Puerto Rico was the most advanced back in the 90s, and it started having voluntary mediation process under the court. Plus they were free for citizens. So in that sense, mediation through the court is what has been developed here. Mediation outside the court that's part of our investigation. If we are going to see if the business and commercial sector have been using its benefits or not. But so far, it's usually canalized through the court. People go to have something to be resolved in the courtroom, and the judge or even them themselves convinced that it will be cheaper, easier, and faster if they go through a mediation process, and then they get through the process as a structure in the courthouse.
Well, perhaps a silver lining might be in regard to mediation, that as more and more platforms are being developed, I've seen a lot on LinkedIn and everywhere, maybe it'll become more accessible for more people to be able to try it out.
Yes, okay. in this situation, since we cannot go out, the court is closed. So the people cannot go to the court. Only for very specific emergency situations, courts are working, usually having to do with domestic violence or felonies cases, in the criminal area. Civil law at this moment is completely closed. Everything will have to wait. So part of when we go back, that's something that we have to check with the Bureau of Conflict Resolution and the court system. How could they implement to make mediation more accessible after we come out of the lockdown?
Right, and having access to more platforms might help with that, potentially.
Yes.
You don't have to travel somewhere physically. You could stay at home and meet with your mediator and the other party.
That's true.
Okay, so we are just about out of time for today. So do you have any closing thoughts or things you'd like to say for our audience?
Okay, no, what I want to say is, hope is the last things that you said lost in these cases. We hope that everything will be resolved soon. We hope that health is more important than everything. So people should take care of their health first and then deal with the other things after. So in that sense, certain projects have to wait a little bit, but it's important that everybody's healthy first.
Okay, Professor Quinones, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it, and we will be in touch soon.
Right, the same to you and your colleagues here there at the university and the students. Bye now.
Thank you so much.